Bro Cam here, and today I'm going to be doing a little kit build. So I found these on Amazon, and basically this one's not fully built yet, but this is a RJ45 breakout board. So it does pass through, and it also does breakout, and you can either break it out to these little screw terminals. So these would go here, or you could also get some pins here if you would rather do pins. I think I'm going to go with, since I got two of them, it comes in a 2-pack, I'm going to do one like this and then one with the pins. And this should be a pretty quick little simple build. The RJ45 jacks seem to clip in to the circuit board so that the PCB, so you can you don't have to worry about holding it or fussing with it like that. So let's already snap these together. Let's go ahead and I'll show you how to do this one, and then I'll get to soldering. So let me turn my soldering iron on so that gets nice and heated up, and then let's zoom in. So if you look here, you can see it says RJ45 Breakout, and it's got these pins labeled 1 through 8. And this is from Treedix.com. I found them on Amazon. Let me check on the price real quick. Okay, it looks like this was $11 for a 2-pack, which is pretty cool. I don't think that's too expensive for something like this. You could just clip off the end of a spare Ethernet cable you have lying around and do it that way, but this is a nice little clean solution. And I've got quite a few radios that use the RJ45 for the hand mic and like head extension and all that stuff. So I think that this was a worthwhile investment of $11 to be able to have a couple of these so I could do some prototyping. So these I think they only go in one way, I believe. So if it's not going in, you need to flip it over, or you need to, on mine, these little feet here were a little too far in. Now they look like they're a little too far out, so I'm just going to make sure that they're kind of straight up and down with the side of this case here. These little metal tabs right here. So don't force it, because you're going to bend these little pins, and then it's going to be a pain in the butt to get everything back right. But just line up all of your pads and everything, and it should just, here, let's look at it from this side so you can see everything's kind of lined up except for maybe this pad, this one up here. If I just push it a bit, there we go. I believe we're all lined up, so I'm just going to push it home. Alright, that is in there. Going to go ahead and do this one next. Same deal. We just want to line these up. And if we look at the underside, we should be able to see all the pins in there. So once it's lined up, same kind of deal. This pin's not wanting to go in, so I'll just give it a little push. Remember, like I said, don't force anything. You might need to rock it back and forth a bit. But there we go, that's in. So let's go ahead and solder up these 8 pins, and then I guess it'd be 16 pins in total, and then 4 ground pins. So let's go ahead and do that. If you've never soldered anything before, you just tin and make sure your tip is clean. Tin a little bit. Go ahead, and we're just going to touch this hot iron with the solder blob to the pin and the pad at the same time, and just feed some solder in. And when you see it start to get sucked up like that, it should cling to the pad and the pin, and you should get a good connection that way. Now, I would not use this for any kind of network, like high-speed network kind of thing. I don't know what it's rated for, what it'll do for that. I imagine it will cause problems. Okay, so there's one. And what I plan on doing with this is taking my Yaesu FTDX10, and I would like to find a way to pipe my desktop microphone into the Yaesu, and then also have a dedicated PTT button for it that I'm going to make myself. And oops, this should make that a lot easier for experimenting. Okay, let's see. I think I need to get some more solder juice on there. Let's take a look at that. How does that look? This looks like a cold joint right here. Let's see if I can just reflow that a bit. I think that looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and do these pads, these ground pads here. I don't know if they're ground pads or housing pads. Now, since this is heating up the housing, it's going to take a lot longer to heat this up. So just be patient. It will eventually heat up. All right, and now we have to do these pins. The pins on the side, so. Those look pretty good. Then I gotta do these. So for this one, I'm gonna do these little screw terminals. We wanna make sure we orient them the right way. That would be making sure that this side is facing out. This is the side you put the wire in. This back side, you cannot do that. So let's go ahead, put this in one of these, and I'm actually gonna, and be careful, this housing is a little warm now because I heated it up so much. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna put some solder here, and I'm gonna put some solder on this pin here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna heat this up and push it in. So let's heat this up and push it in, get it where I want it, and let go. Let that cool. And now I can go ahead and do these other ones, and this should not move on me. I'm going to give that a second to cool, make sure that these are all cooled down enough, and I'm going to touch up this last pin here. Here we go. This is a 3D printed circuit board holder, and it just barely works for this. So I've only used this like once before. Okay, so that's now there. So let's go ahead and do this side. I'm gonna do the same thing I did with the other one. I'm gonna do this pin this time. I'm gonna put just a little bit of solder there. And then make sure you got this oriented the right way. Okay, now that that's going in, now let's go ahead and do the rest of these. And there we go. That should be the first one done. So this should be complete now. I will get a tester and test just to make sure there's no crosstalk or anything. And I'll see about putting the link to this in my description as well. This is it's just 3D printed. I think I did ABS because it's what I had on hand. I'm gonna go ahead and do this other one, and it's the same exact process, except I'm going to put these in instead, and it's still the same process as putting these in. It's just a little different because this is a big green housing and these are hot metal pins, so I'll probably use some tweezers to hold these while I put it in. So this is my Ethernet tester. It's really simple. Plug one into one side, one into the other side, you turn it on. It should blink up 1 through 8 all the way through. So that's a known good cable. I just dug this out of the closet, so I'm just going to double check that this is a good cable. Okay, and that is good. So now I'm going to plug one cable here, one cable here. Let's plug one in here and plug one in here. And if this is wired up right, it looks like it's good. So let's check the other one now. This one also looks good. So there we have it. We have a nice little Breakout Ethernet pass-through. And now that I got these built, I'm going to go play with my FTDX10 and see about putting an external microphone and PTT on that. In the meantime, you can find down in the links below, you can find affiliate links to these on Amazon. These were $11 for a 2-pack. I think this is a really cool little piece of kit. I'm excited to play with these and my several radios that use this standard for their handsets. So that's all I have time for today. This is the Berg Ham saying 73.